What's up, guys? This is your man Gidkay once again. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I edit my wedding photography in Lightroom Classic. Yes, so today I'm going to show you my workflow on how I go about editing my wedding photography. So this is going to be how I do my thing. So you can also watch and learn. You can acquire something or adapt something from my workflow. So stay tuned with me and see how this goes. So this is a wedding I shot some weeks back. Yes, we shot this with the Canon EOS 6D paired with the 85mm lens. Yes, and then these were my settings. Yes, as time goes on, we change the setting due to the lighting we're using. This natural light, so the sun goes up, comes down, and all that. So you have to adjust your settings as you go. Yes. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to color correct before we dive into color grading. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on my highlights first. Yes. You can see there are lots of highlights. Yes. Highlights are those areas that are too bright. Yes. So reduce the highlights first and then let's see. So let's see the before and after. Yes. You can't really see, but if you look on the walls and then the shirts and on the floor too, you can see that now there are details in there compared to this one. Yes. So let me go back. And then I'm going to bring in contrast a little. Yes. And then try to reduce my exposure a little bit. Yes. So with just these few tweaks, you see the image is starting to make sense now. Yes. And I didn't put this out. I shoot in a neutral color profile. Yes. So I can retain more colors and more details in the image. Yes. So reduce on the whites a little. Yes. For the shadows, maybe I'll come back to it, but not now. Yes. And also the dehaze. For the dehaze, I'll touch it a little bit because I shot this in a neutral form, so there's lots of haziness on the image. So it looks flat. Yes. So let me show you the raw file. Yeah. So this is how it looks like on the left side. Yes. So when we touch on the dehaze a little, maybe like let's say 7. Yes, when you are shifting your sliders, do not look at the slider, look at the image. Yes, the image is going to determine the figure you are going to use. So sometimes I get questions like, can you share your editing settings with me, camera settings with me and stuff? But this is what you have to keep in mind. The image I'm working on is different from the image you are working on. I might share these raw files with you guys so we can practice along, but I'm going to seek consent from the client first. If it's fine, I'm going to put out a link in the description below so you guys can also access it. Yes, but if not that, if you shot a different image, you should understand that the environment you shot in is different from mine. Yes, and then even the inspo I had in my head or I had in mind is different from yours. So this is just like a guide to help you on your editing. Yes, not to copy it completely. Yeah. So now I'm done with the haze. I'll not touch the clarity. I'll not touch the texture, and this too. Yes. So quickly I'll move to the HSL or color. I normally like using color because once you select a particular color, you get the hue, the saturation, and luminance compared to the HSL that you have to switch modes each and every time. Yes, I feel like that's stressful. So I normally use the color aspect. So in this image, we can see there's lots of blues. Yes, so I'm going to tackle the blues a little. And keep this in mind. Always make sure you don't over edit. So you not drag the sliders too much, something like this. No. If this is what you're going for, that is fine. But in my preference and my workflow, that's not how things are being done. Yes. You have to move it. I don't know the right way to give it, but appropriately. Yes. So I just drag the saturation. Whilst dragging it, I'm looking at the image as well. Yes. So with the luminance to bring it down a little. And then let's go for orange. Orange is the skin tone. Yes. Normally I don't really touch the saturation unless, let's say, there was a makeup being done and then the neck or the hands are different from the face. Yes. So I just boost the luminance of the oranges. Yes, the orange color, sorry. Yeah, so basically what orange does is it affects the skin tone, and then the luminance is the brightness of every color you select. So instead of luminance, you can see brightness of the orange color. Yes. So I just put +2% on the luminance, and then with the reds, I can't really see reds. It's only the number plate and all that. Yes. And then let me see with yellows. So let's try and do something creative here. Let me see if I turn down the yellows. You can't really see any effect in there. Yes. So you take it back. Yeah. There are no greens through here. So quickly you can jump to the next one. I'll come back to the color grading, but firstly I want to walk you down through this process before. So with the sharpness, I like to increase. I just like to add 10%, yes, to the one that came with the raw file. So mostly I put it on 50, yes, and I don't touch any of these things unless it's needed. And then the lens correction, I remove chromatic aberration. Mostly when shooting under the sun or using the sunlight, you tend to get chromatic aberration on the edges of your images. Yes. If you like, you can enable profile correction. Sometimes the lens that we use has this vignette on the corners and sometimes like warps. Yes. So if you want to correct, you can do that. So I shot this with the Sigma 85mm 1.4 lens HSM. Yeah. So you see when I turn it off, you can see some vignette corrections. Yes. If you want it that way, you can leave it. If you don't want it to, you can turn it back on. Yes. But I feel it doesn't really do much to the image, so I'll just leave it on. This is transform, but I don't normally come there. Yes. This is effect if you want to add greens to your image. Yeah. And then lastly, the calibration. So in calibration, normally I just touch the blue primary just to punch in the colors in there a little. So I touch the saturation of the blue primary. So if you turn it down, this is how image looks like. If this is the kind of grading you are going for, that is fine. But I like to punch in mine a little. Yes, to make everything look alive. And then now let's go back to color grading, the color grading panel. So inside the color grading panel, we have shadows, we have midtones, we have highlights. If you watch my retouching tutorials, I've explained where you can find shadows, midtones, and highlights on. And this image can be a clear example. So on their foreheads are the highlights because the light touching there is very, very harsh. And then midtones is an area where it doesn't look too bright, it doesn't look too dark too. And then shadows obviously means darker areas. Yeah, so I'm going to touch on the dark side first and then we will move to the rest. So for this color grading panel, I think as a creator's choice, yes, you are the one to choose the kind of color to put in every section. Yes, so I like to have this kind of cyan kind of feel in the shadows, like blue in shadows. Yes, and I like to reduce the luminance of it, and I don't do it too much. I just want it to be there. It's there as if it's not there. Yes, that kind of feeling. Yeah, so you just have to manipulate it and see what works for you. And mostly I put my midtones in areas of the skin tone color, so red, yellows, orange. Yeah, and then I shift the saturation a little. Yes, I don't really touch the luminance. Sometimes I just add a little brightness to it. And then with the highlights, when it comes to the highlights, you are the one to choose because most times the highlight affects the overall image. Yeah, so let's see. Let me increase the saturation a little. Yes, so if you are going for a kind of green tint for the highlight, this is what it's going to look like. Yes, if you take it this way to this is what you get. This is what you get. So whilst you're moving it, you are getting the taste or the kind of feeling you want. Yes, but I think this spot feels great. Yes, or looks great. So I'll just not do it too much, just a little. Yeah, and then I'll go back to shadows and then see whether if we increase shadows it's fine, or if we reduce it is fine. So I think reducing it a little, or maybe this is fine. This is fine. And then let's see the before and after. So this is the before, this is the after. Yes. And one thing about Lightroom is you can copy your edit settings to another image. So just right click, come to settings, copy settings. It's going to give you a small pop-up menu for you to take the ones you don't want. But with this, I like everything. Yes. Then I copy, and then let's look for a similar image that was shot in that same environment. Yes. So I think this shot. Yes. So it is. I told them to kind of give some aura walking. Yeah. So let's see. Yes. So you just right click, and then you paste the settings on it. Yes. And this is how it looks like. Very, very neat. You don't have to do too much. So later then you can choose to crop. Yes. So you can just crop in a little. Good. Something like this is nice. Yes. So if you feel this kind of grade, you can apply it to almost all the shots. Yeah. So I think this shot. Yes. There's one of the groomsmen. Let's see if we apply it, how it's going to look. And sometimes too, it won't look great, so you just have to tweak the settings a little. So with this, I'll just have to bring back the exposure a little. That's all. And then I'll crop. Yes. And then you can still make changes to the image, the grid. Yes, as many times as you want. So with the blue suit is where I can change the hue of it. Yes. So let's say I want this kind of blue. Yes. So you are the one to choose. That is color grading. You are giving the image a different feel. Yes. But I want my images to look as natural as possible. So this is how the image is looking. Yes. And then this is the before and this is the after. Yeah. So this is the workflow I use in editing my wedding photography photos in Lightroom. Yeah, I hope you learned something new. Yes, and also let me know what you think about this tutorial in the comment section as well. If you've not subscribed yet, kindly do. And also, I'll thank you for watching till this end. Yeah, catch you on another educative tutorial like we did today. This is your man Gidkay, and peace out.